Chaps, hello and welcome back to a Forza Horizon 6. We finally have the last bit of early gameplay footage for Forza Horizon 6. This is going to be one of the last, unfortunately, dropped by IGN. But who knows, the developers might drop some on their personal channels or on Forza Horizon 5 main channels. This is just the last by IGN, but hey, the developers could always drop some more in the future. But today we're reacting to and taking a deep dive into the game-changing features in Horizon Rush. We're talking about the new Horizon Rush mode, some massive updates for PC players, and a whole new way to find and unlock cars in Japan. So, without any further ado, make sure to like, subscribe, and let's get straight into it. Actually, before we get into it, I do just want to say something. Before we get into it, loads and loads of comments have said, we know you're reading a script, it's obvious you're reading a script, stuff like that. I'm not trying to hide that. I am reading a script. So I'll watch the video and I'll watch a few other YouTubers do it. I'll take some inspiration from them. I'll write my own stuff, do stuff like that. And then I'll write it down into one big script. So just to get it out of the way, to avoid any of those comments, I am reading a script. It is in front of me. I am looking at it. So without any further ado, let's get straight into it now. So Horizon Rush. In previous games, showcase events are usually one and done. You race a train or a plane once and you never touch it again. The devs noticed this and created Horizon Rush to fix it. Think of these as high stakes obstacle courses instead of racing a vehicle. You're racing on the clock. It's all about replayability. You'll see the sector times, green if you're faster, and your personal best, red if you're lagging, encouraging you to master every corner, jump, road, whatever it is, you've got to master it because it is essentially using a Formula 1 recording system. So each sector, it will time you and tell you if you're faster or slower than you are currently. So at launch, the three big rush locations we've seen so far, the three confirmed ones at least, hey, there may be more, we don't know. But the ones we've got at the minute are the docks, the ski resort, and the space center. So the docks are obviously in Tokyo City. You got tight gaps, stuff like that to thread the needle through, if you will. You got the ski resort, high elevation, and the space center, which just sounds mega because I've never been in a space center inside of Forza, or in real life for that matter. So I'm so happy to say, if you're planning to play on PC, there are some huge quality of life improvements coming. Now, me personally, I play on the Xbox Series X via a capture card, but stream on my PC, which I did mention in my previous video. But if you play on PC, this is literally a goldmine for you. So real-time settings. For the first time, you won't have to restart if you see graphic changes. This is one of the main reasons I switched to Xbox. Xbox does have better graphics anyway, but one of the main ones was if I changed a setting, I would have to restart my game and then Forza Horizon 5 would have to re-optimize itself all over again. And that process takes around 5-6 minutes. It's quite a long process, especially when you're a live streamer as well. Your Twitch chat don't want to sit there, including yourself. You don't want to sit there for 6 minutes twiddling your thumbs while Forza Horizon optimizes itself. So this is a huge quality of life update, especially for, you know, your streamers and people that don't want to wait half an hour for their game just to optimize. That's a bit of an exaggeration, but you get the point. But you can tweak settings and see the impact on your FPS and visuals instantly. Now, I made a video telling you all the PC specs you need to run Forza Horizon 6. That is the video on screen now. But I want you guys to comment, what graphics card are you guys going to be rocking for Forza Horizon 6? What graphics card have you got now? Do you plan on buying another one? You guys will have to let me know in the comments. Me personally, 5080, Nvidia's 5080 card, it's serving me quite well. I can't complain, it's really good. But yeah, let me know what GPU you guys are rocking if you've made it this far into the video. But handheld support, it's officially confirmed for Steam Deck and ROG Ally, which I did mention in my previous video also, and we're getting uncapped frame rates, ultra wide support, and full ray traced global illumination, which I did also cover in my first video. I feel like I'm sounding like a bit of a parrot here, I'm just repeating myself from my previous video, but that is just a brief sort of overview on what we said. Chaps, the way we collect cars is changing. There are now 5 distinct ways to get your hands on vehicles. These are pre-tuned, scattered around the map. You can buy them cheaper than building them yourself. They're tuned specifically for nearby events. So I take it if you have a race on a certain road, there's probably going to be a car on that road that's built for that race and will probably get you 1st, 3rd, 5th place, something high up like that, I would wager. But yeah, treasure cars, abandoned cars. A new character called May will send you photo clues. You have to hunt these down in the wild and add them to your collection. So similar to how it works in Grand Theft Auto, people will send you pictures via your in-game menu, phone, whatever it is, and you're going to get pictures of these abandoned cars, and you've got to scratch your head and find out where it actually is going to be. But yeah, that's treasure cars and iconic cars done. Now, chaps, barn finds. Barn finds are saying nothing new. They're in Forza Horizon 5. They're now going to be in Forza Horizon 6. That's literally nothing new. I mean, barn finds have been with us since essentially day one. So, hey, they're going to be with us in Forza Horizon 6. And Forza Edition cars. We've got some crazy builds confirmed, including a Viper built for off-roading. Now, that shouldn't be allowed because Vipers are not built for off-roading, but Forza Edition cars, they're meant to be crazy, they're meant to be out of pocket. If you guys remember in Forza Horizon 5, we actually got an off-road GT3 RS, so I take it Forza Horizon 6 has the Viper instead. But yeah, the weekly challenges are returning to keep the content fresh as well. The festival playlist is going to return to Forza Horizon 6. That's, again, nothing different. We've seen it in Forza Horizon 5, but just to let you guys know, that is going to be in Forza Horizon 6 as well. So you guys can complete your challenge, complete your races, complete your accolades, stuff like that to complete your festival playlist and then earn the car, backstage pass, whatever it is at the end of that playlist. So for those who live for the leaderboard, the drag strips are getting a real world overhaul. No more weird distances, we are getting a true 1 mile strip at the festival, a 1/4 mile at the Space Center, and a 1/2 mile drag strip, or at the airstrip. Or drag strip at the airstrip, sorry. That was a tongue twister. Plus a new time attack circuits ranging from grassroots tracks to high-speed road courses. So yeah, we're going to get a 1 mile drag... So we're going to get a 1 mile drag strip at the festival, 1/4 mile at the Space Center, and 1/2 mile at the airstrip. So we're going to get 1 mile, 1/4 mile, 1/2 mile. That's really, really good because some people prefer 1/2 mile, some people prefer 1 mile. Some people measure actual, like, car speeds on 1/4 miles. So, I mean, hey, it makes sense. But yeah, there is so much to be excited about for Forza Horizon 6. I did just want to come out and yap about that real quick. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Much love, and I will see you guys in the next one. If you haven't already, please do make sure to join the Discord for all things Forza. Every time there is a new Forza Horizon 6 update, the developers put it in their Discord, and my Discord also follows a channel from there. So essentially, the developers are literally posting in the Discord for the newest and freshest information. Much love, and I will see you guys in the next one.